hatches, and also we have seen dimensions, right? Dimensions, hatches, and all. Today, I'd like to revise whatever hatches we've seen and start a fresh topic. Okay, first let us see uh, yesterday's topic, hatches, and then we'll go for super hatching, which is a new topic, and also we'll see what blocks are and what like why we have to create blocks and what are the advantages of blocks and various methods and ways to create blocks. Okay, please raise your hand if my voice is not audible or if you're stuck somewhere. Okay, let's try to draw some hatches today also. For that, I'll quickly draw some shapes. Take some polygons size. This, let me have a circle like this. So we have seen what hatches are and why we represent hatch and what is the shapes of hatch and what they denote and all. Yesterday we were stuck somewhere. As I've said, as I've tried to draw in particular area, it is going. It was covering the whole hatch yesterday. That was because of my software error. Now you can see today wherever my cursor is there, that is the only place the hatch. One second, please. Okay. So today you can see wherever my cursor is there, the hatch is only representing that particular part. So if you face any such problem like the hatch is covering the whole area, you can actually use one more option, that is boundary. You can actually create individual boundaries in the whole structure itself so that the system knows like I am creating a boundary over here, which means this is a separate entity and this is a separate entity. So whenever we are trying to perform a hatch, the system knows that this is a separate entity and this is a separate entity as well, and treats it as a separate entity. Now we have seen how to say choose a hatch pattern, and you can actually increase or decrease its transparency and angle and hatch count. Like if it is one over here, it's not visible. So let's make 50 and see what happens over here. You can see we can see the hatch over here. So I'll finish that. And if I want one more type of hatch over here, I'll just go to this hatch command again. You can select your type of hatch here again, whatever you want to draw. So here 50 is like way more expanded. So let me just try for 10 and see what happens. Click somewhere and try. Okay. So this is also, if you're not comfortable, you can increase or decrease your uh, quantity. I'll finish that. So that's how you draw hatch, and you have seen what associative hatch is. We have also seen what happens if that associative is turned off. Okay. Now these type of hatches, whatever the hatches present over here, are normally enough for most of the 2D drawings. But nowadays, most of the 3D software has taken over our crafting industry and overall the design industry. So people are expecting more of a realistic, photorealistic hatch in the 2D interface itself. So AutoCAD has introduced certain new tools so that you can achieve those also. But let's see, before going to that, let's see one more type of representation, that is grading. Like you can apply hatch, or directly you can go to this gradient, which applies a gradient in your pattern, like in your shape. So after applying the gradient or before applying the gradient, you can actually select the type of gradient you want to apply and also the color you want to which you want to represent. As I think everyone knows what gradient is, right? Gradient is a solid fill with variations in colors, and also you can change the angle, you can change the tint of this gradient. Like these are the different versions of the same gradient. Like we are selecting only two colors here in this particular example, red and black. With this red and black, what are the different types of tints you can achieve? All these tints can also be visible over here. So where do we, you may ask, where do we use this gradient? Say, for example, you are drawing a wall in your front elevation and you want to make it like it is painted wall. In such cases, you actually can use this gradient and make it look like it's a painted wall, which gives a realistic impression. So such cases, we can actually use this gradient. Now, even then, we don't like this, which is of like say not realistic in a not realistic way. So we can actually create something which is more realistic. For that, let me just give some dimension. I'll just offset it. Yeah, okay. And let's say we have a partition wall, something like this. No, it's okay. So let's imagine this is as a room. Okay. So we want something inside this room to be, like say, in the form of tile. Let's copy quickly first. So let's say I want a tile, a kind of tile environment in this room. How do we represent tile? Okay, with the conventional tools, we cannot, with the conventional hatch, we cannot actually form. So we have to choose something else. What is that? That is not present in our home tab. We have to choose those in something called Express Tools. This whole catalog is added very recently in AutoCAD. This was not there earlier. As I've said, AutoCAD is trying to catch up with all the other softwares that are present, like the 3D softwares or like say Revit, for example, which is excellent software for 3D modeling, which can also simultaneously generate your 2D drawings. So in order to catch up or in order to make AutoCAD equal to those softwares, Autodesk has added certain other options such as Express Tools. Here we have an option called Super Hatch. So with super hatch, you can do certain things which are not possible with our regular hatch function. Let's see what those are. So for example, as I've said, so say let's say this whole floor is of wooden layer, like it's of wooden carpet type of furniture flooring. So I want to represent that with a representational image. For that, let me just go to super hatch and then let me select an image. So I have downloaded some images wherein, like say, this is an imagine this is a wooden floor. So I want this particular image to be represented in this floor plan. Okay, let me select this wooden floor. Click open. After that, okay, your wooden floor is selected over here. Hit OK first. Then the next thing is you have to place where from where that particular image reference has to start. I'll just click anywhere. After that, you have to give your scale factor, how much the image has to multiply. You can just simply hit enter. Then you have to place whether the given image is acceptable or not. You can normally press enter. After that, you have to give your option where until where the image has to multiply itself. So this is the area where I want that image to say represent. After that, hit enter. Hit yes. Depending on your graphic card, it will take certain time. If you're using high-end graphic card, it'll be reflected instantly. But if you're having the somewhat medium size of graphic card, as you can see here, it takes a bit of time to actually generate the preview. Let's just wait for it. So it's all about your graphic card's capacity. So if you're a professional, make sure that even for a software as basic as AutoCAD, also you have to have a good and graphic card so that you can perform these generative tasks much easier. Like this particular task is dependent on graphic card. That's why we see a lag over here. But normally, whenever there is no requirement of graphic card, you can use your default PC also to perform the CAD functionalities. I don't know why. Okay, I just cancelled. I don't know why it took so long. Let me retry it. So that was the process actually. Let me retry with, let's say, one more image. This image. Maybe that was a problem with the image. I just selected that image. I'll give my reference point and then press enter. Just press yes because I am satisfied with that placement. And then plus this has to be always a closed region. You have to remember when you're selecting a space for a specified option, always remember it has to be a closed space. After that, hit enter. Yes, it has to come. Believe me, just like 10-15 minutes, I've tried this and it has worked out. I don't know what happened. Now it's not working. Sometimes like this happens. Let me try for one more thing. Let me place it somewhere here, like this. Enter. Yeah, you can see. So I have selected that image, and what I've done is that image recreate itself. So you can see when you look from top, this image looks like it's made of a brick pattern. You can actually change how much longer this image has to repeat, and like I've just represented it, but in actuality, you can change the type of image you are looking, and you can actually make it far more realistic with this way. That also has to work. Let's just try, give it a try once more time. I'll take super hatch and just select image, any image. Okay, press it somewhere else. It's let's not waste the time, but that was a process. So there is also one more option. For example, let's say we don't want to represent this whole part of the floor or ceiling with image. You just wanted to create a separate entity and make that repeat in the whole section. You can also do that in array, but array it's again a manual process. You have to select a place and you have to make an individual, say, kind of a tile form and you have to repeat it again. But instead of that, we can actually automate this whole process with a small thing. Let's say what it is. I'll just try to a small rectangle like this. Try to draw. Now, what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll go to let's say chamfer over here. It is also similar to fillet. I'll select distance and let me select like this. Enter. It will form a okay some kind of tile. So I hope I have to select the distance much lesser this time. Okay. Let's just go to chamfer again. I'll just select distance. This time let's give a small distance like this. Press enter. After that, you have to select the edges in which you have to repeat your chamfer. So after one side, again I'll take space bar, which means I'm repeating the same command. So I'll repeat the same command multiple times so that it looks in the form of a tile. Next, what I'm going to do is I'll just join everything. Then for representation purpose, let me change the color of this particular element. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I quickly convert this in the form of a block. Let's discuss like in 5 minutes what block is later. I'll just press B, enter. Okay, I'll just type it as tile. Next, you have to what you have to do is you have to pick a point from where this tile has to start, and then you have to select the whole object of tile. So we have created a block. Okay. Now I want this particular block to repeat in my whole floor plan. Then again, I'll go for express tool, go for super hatch. You have to first time we have selected image. Now we have to select block. So this is what our block is. It's already been selected because that's the only block in our file. After that, hit OK. Now we have to select the area from where the block has to start. Like let's say our tile is starting from here in this particular room. Hit OK. Then you have to give scale factor in X direction, Y direction, Z direction. If you are having an angle, hit enter. So after that, you have to confirm whether the placement is OK with Y. Hit enter. Now there is a magenta color looking space. So this particular tile occupies this space. You have to confirm whether it is OK or not. Press enter. Then you have to specify an option which indicates like if I press anywhere on this closed enclosure, it indicates that is where my block has to repeat. After that, you have to press enter. So you can see this block has been repeated in the whole what you call floor plan, and it looks like a pattern. And you can say like this is what a tile looks like. Or if you're having a front elevation for a building, you can say this is what an elevation looks like. Or if you are giving a pattern for your wall, you can also draw like this. And for example, let's say I am having a issue with this, or I just wanted to add some more parameters in this given shape. Is it possible once you have drawn? Yes, it is also possible. How? You have to edit this particular block. How can you edit already a completed block is you have to go for block editor. You can just double click on that particular block. It will be selected. You will be greeted in a separate environment. It is called as block editor. So anyone who's interested in applying for an interview, this will be an interview question like what is a block editor and what it is its function. So what is block actually? Block is something which you will use often and you don't have to draw it multiple times. You just have to draw it once, and it's like saving it in a location. Whenever you want to access that particular shape, you can take that from that location, and it is not restricted to a single file. Let's say you completed this project and done, and you are opening a new project. You can actually import whatever the blocks you have created in other projects to this project and use it exactly as it is. So that is an advantage of block. You have to do it whatever the shape you're doing only once, and then it can repeat itself to multiple projects. As long as you are doing such type of work, you can actually use that block. So coming to this particular shape, let's say I just wanted to have a circle in this style. Let's say I'll just go for L enter and I'll select midpoint for my reference. And here, let me add a circle over here. This. And also, okay, this is enough. Circle is enough. Just after whatever the editing is there in that given block, you can actually close this block editor. It asks for save changes. You can just hit save changes. Now you can see instantly the block has been edited. Not only here, wherever the block is there, that part will be edited. Okay, if you don't want that, that to be happening, where this block the changes of this given block, if you don't want to affect all the others, you have to duplicate this block and save it somewhere else and then open that block. So that's one challenge or one point you have to remember. You can edit the block. What happens when you edit the block which is already there in the project is that will change wherever the block is there. So you have to remember, if you want to make changes in this given block, you can duplicate it and you can save it somewhere else and then bring it in the project, the editor function. Does it make sense? Anyone? Anyone has any doubts in this? Or should I explain again? Hello? Am I clear on this blocks?
Hi Karthik, where
Yeah.
did you create the block in the home tab, na?
Yeah, I'll tell where to create the block. I'm just trying to explain this hash pattern. So the next topic is block. Okay. Just try to remember these hash patterns. They will not be available in our regular hash patterns. In order to do such shapes or in order to give images to your whatever blocks or what the floor plans or anything reference images, you have to go for your express tools and you have to select the super hatch. There you can either give image or blocks. Okay, now let's come back to our topic, that is blocks. So where did we create the blocks? The blocks can be created either in the block tab over our home ribbon, or the blocks will be permanently present in our block uh, ribbon. The insert ribbon, you can see blocks. So here, if you want to create new block, you can just go for create block. Let me just create one more block over here. This is the file what we did yesterday. So if you want to create new block, you can actually go to this create block over here in the blocks, or it will always be present in insert, create block, create block. So first thing is you have to give a name. First, let me draw a shape actually. I'll just go for the zeroth layer. So as I've said, zeroth layer is our default layer. It will be present in every project, and whatever you draw without any layer, that will be in the zeroth layer. Normally, we don't give any definition for zeroth layer because it's a default layer. So maximum people use zeroth layer for dimensions and such kind of things. So if you want dimensions also, you can create one more layer. But remember, zeroth layer will be always present in AutoCAD. You cannot delete this layer. You should not delete that layer. So I'm in zeroth layer. Now let me create a block. I can create a block by going to insert, create block. Before that, let me have a shape like say circle and say.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can you please show that how can we draw offset of the circle once more, please?
Offset with circle.
Yes.
Yeah, you can draw circle or enter. You have to specify your offset distance. Here by default it's 2 inches. If you want like say 3 inches, enter 3 and the inches symbol, press enter. select on that object, whatever the object you're having, it'll automatically form an offset.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. It's true for not only a circle, any object you can offset by pressing O, enter. Okay, then you have to give your offset distance. In this case, it's 3 inches. If you want to give, like, say, 5 inches, you can select 5. You have to give inches symbol, then it will automatically have an offset. Okay, so let me just draw some random figure, something like this. And I just wanted to make this as a block. Okay, let's assume it as a say dining table. Let me just draw a line in this direction also. Okay, I know this doesn't look like a dining table. Let's pretend this as a dining table. So I want to create a block in the name of dining table. Okay, I have to go for create block first. Just create block. You have to give your name. After that, the first and most important thing you have to do is you have to pick point. So what does this pick point does is the entire block will be treated or will be placed with the reference of a block or a point. So I want this whole block to be made as a reference from this point. And then you have to select the object in which you have to whatever the object you want to place in that particular block, you have to select the whole object. After that, you have to press enter. So what we have done is we have first given a pick point, which is a reference point for the block. Then after that, you have to select the object. Whatever the object you are selecting will be in your dining table category. And then there are three options possible over here. One is retain, the other one is convert to block, the other one is delete. First, let me save as convert to block and let's see what happens. Hit OK. You can see now a single entity. It's everything is joined together and it's a block. Okay, we have created block. Now, how to let's say I have deleted this block. How to load that block in the project? You have to press insert. I enter. So everything that you create in the form of block will be in this insert template. Earlier, this was not there. This is like a 3 years back addition. Here you can see all the blocks that are present in your project. Let's see you are drawing a dining table and you want to have the dining table in your project. So this is what we have created. I can select the the block. As soon as I select the block, you can see the block is present over here. So let's say this is my area and I want to place that block over here. So this block is repetitive. You can place this block multiple times. That will once it's say active, you can copy, you can save multiple times. Okay, that's the beauty of blocks. And you can see I can see Control C. This is one project, and this is another project. So the scale is different, but what I've done is I've taken the block from that project to this project. Say if I want to increase the size of that particular block, just go for SC, that is scale, give any point, and then just drag outside. So here you can give you a scale factor, or by visual representation, you can see what is the size of your particular block. You can just drag it and drop. These are for normal blocks. There is one more category which we'll cover tomorrow, the day after tomorrow's topic, that is called attributed block or block with parameters. So in that block, what you can do is just by clicking, like say, and just go for PR. By clicking on this block, what you are going to get over here is you are just going to get nothing. It will show where it is in the position X in Y. But if you are creating a parametric block, here only you can change its dimension. Let's say you are having a square. Okay, like this. If I click on here, there is nothing visible over here except for its dimensions. But with that parametric block, what happens is once you have drawn something in parametric environment, here in the properties bar only, you can change this dimension. Let's say it's if it's of 2 feet height, 2 feet width and 1 feet breadth. By changing like here, I can give input as 3 feet. It will automatically change 3 feet. And by changing like say input, if I give 2 feet of width, it will automatically change to 2 feet of width. That is called parametric blocks. We'll see that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow as per the schedule. So this is what block is. You can place this block multiple times, and also you can give a separate environment like a separate layer for the blocks. Let's say I want to place the whole furniture in a furniture block. Let me first create a layer for furniture. This I've created a layer for furniture. Let me give a color for furniture. Let's say some kind of color. Now I've created. Let me go to that layer. Okay. You can, after selecting the image, so we have already created the block. Now it's not possible. Is it possible to change the color or move it to the furniture layer? Yes, it is possible. How? First, you have to select whatever the element you are having that you have to move. Then you have to change the layer. Okay. Then it will be in your furniture layer. Hope I'm making sense. Like this. So the same for this thing. So it's in 0 layer by default. So if I want to move that to some other layer, I have to select that element and then click on the layer which I have to move. Now it is in the furniture layer. This block is in furniture layer. After that, whatever the element you are going to create, because it is in furniture layer, that will be in furniture layer. So this is one more important topic. Let's say you want to place some kitchen element. So you have to select that particular what you call layer. Then only you have to import those elements. Clear? So yesterday we have drawn our windows and doors, right? These are not blocks. Let's try to convert these as blocks first. So first I have selected the element. You don't have to select first. Then you have to go for create. It's a double window, right? Then you have to pick a point upon which this whole object is going to act as a reference point, whatever the point it is. Then after that, you have to select the whole object. Just enter after that. So now let me select this retain. We have seen what convert to block is. If you select convert to block, the existing block will be converted to convert to block. Let's see what happens if I hit retain and OK. So we have a block over here. Let's see what happens to this existing lines. See, it is still not converted to block, but we have a block already, which means if you select that option, whatever we have drawn, right, that will not be converted to block, but the portion we have given will be converted to block. Let's see one more option. I'll go to create. It's a single door. So I'll just name it door. I'll pick point as somewhere like this. Then I'll select an object. I'll select the whole object. After that, hit enter. Now let me try to use this delete option. Hit OK. Now you can see that is gone. It is there in the layers, sorry, blocks, but the object which we have drawn is gone. So those are the three options. If you want to create a block, you can use these three options you can use. There is one more thing called scale uniformity. Scale uniformity is, for example, you have selected a block and for some reason you wanted to change the dimensions of this block, not a parametric block. Then if you click on this uniformity, as per like say this is a ratio of x and y, x is like 2 times the y. Okay, so when you give 3, it has to, like say 4, it has to change 4 times this direction and 2 times in this direction. So that is what uniformity is, right? If you switch off this uniformity, it'll extend like unevenly. So you have to make sure that when you want your block to be uniformly stretched, select this scale uniformly. Okay, I did not create anything, so it's not allowing, but we have got a basic concepts of block and we know where to access our block. Let's see, it's not here. So we have created block, and where do we access our block? I have to go for I enter. So we have our blocks that are currently loaded in our project. Like there are like multiple ways to save a block, but you have to always remember whatever that you are using, those only you have to import in your settings, because once, as we've discussed yesterday, right? So you import many things in your project, then your file size will increase automatically. The performance of your PC will be decreased. So you have to make sure that whatever that is necessary to you, you have to import. Let's see, I am trying to utilize or say have a door for my project over here. Let me place over here. So what if this door is opening in the opposite direction? I simply just go to mirror and give this as my reference axis, press F8, it will be straight then. Now we have to make sure that you press yes, which means we are going to erase the source object. Then just try to move this so that it will match your wall. After that, you have to make sure that the drawing is tidy. So we are a tiny bit like this. And also over here, over here. So now we have placed our first door. There are multiple other small doors also. Let's place them also. Say, let's see, I just wanted to place door here like this. Now I can copy, place it wherever I want that. So here there is a tricky situation. There is a tricky situation. The door is opening in this direction, but I want this door to open in this direction. So what I'll do is I'll first move this door. I'll mirror beforehand, before going to that particular location. And then I will move this door to my exact location where I want to place that given door. Now it's easy for us. Just go to TR, enter, wherever you want a bit of cleaning so that your door. So I just try to expand this. It has been deleted. I just try to uh, join those things and draw a line over this. So you can see this line is not in the layer which it has to belong. So I've selected line and I'll go to the wall layer. So it will be in that wall layer. So we have selected walls now. Now the turn for windows. So we have two types of windows depending on our wall. These are our inner windows or inner windows. These are our exterior windows. So these are framed according to our wall thickness. So let me just create a wall, a block for these also. I've selected the total block. I'll rename it as Windows Big. For my reference, you can name whatever you want. Pick a point, a reference point, and then you have to select the whole object. Hit enter. Hit OK. You have your window. The same for sorry, small window also. I'll just pick a point somewhere like this, and then I will select the object, that is the whole object, hit enter, hit OK. So we have two types of windows. Let me just quickly give a big window over here. In this direction as well. And here I'm just placing randomly. So I just want my window over here also. The center. Now I want my window in this direction and in this direction. What I'm going to do is place it, RO, rotate, enter. Just select center point, press F8 so that it will rotate in 90 degrees. After that, press F8 again, select the object, M, enter. So you can move that object. You can just place wherever you want. After that, just try to copy it once again so that we can place it. So you have to make sure that I'll press F8 so that they can be placed uniformly. You can see we have created a sort of typical floor plan. Okay, so just try to use these steps and follow these baby steps to draw a typical floor plan and see how things goes. One of the most challenging things to do is we can draw floor plan, but how do we draw elevation plan from this floor plan? That is what a tricky part. That is what involves a lot of your imagination. So normally the best practice is it involves actually a lot of imagination. So we can draw how things look like in 2D from where like we are looking from above, how things look like. But when it comes to elevation, what happens is we have created a door. How does this door look in 2D? When we look from like front view, that we have to imagine. And also the same goes for window. So it is easy to draw something in 2D in floor plan, but to imagine that same thing, how the thing looks like when it is in elevation, that takes a lot of time. That time and practice as well. First thing is you have to make sure that we have seen construction line here, right? Right. So you have to give a first point, second point, and also once again construction line, first point, second point. So why have I given in this direction? We have discussed something called views, right? The quadrants and all, first quadrant, second quadrant, third and fourth quadrant. So we in India, as we discussed in the first or second class, will always use first quadrant. So the basic rule of first quadrant is when you are having a front view, the bottom view will be in the bottom. So we've got a bottom view. So obviously the front elevation should be in the top. All right. So that is why we have just go to that slide and show once again. So here, so we know we have given top view, which is a floor plan. Now we are trying to create a front view, which should be on the top of this top view. We know we have a top view, which is bottom. So if you are creating a front view, that should be top of this floor plan. Okay. Now after that, then why did I draw lines exactly here? Because whatever the front elevation is, that should not be more than this dimension, because this is what my start of my building, this is the end of my building. Whatever I draw should be in between the building, this dimension only. So I have taken some construction line so that that acts as a reference and helps me to find out my like my endpoints. So I have to complete my building within this point to this point. Okay. Now I can simply just draw a line like this. So this acts my ground. Why I say we have to imagine is we don't have any other reference. So we have to take many references here. So let me take this as a ground. So no construction will start from ground, right? There should be at least some base. We have in civil terms what we call it as a plinth level. So I'll just give an offset of say 1 feet. Oh, enter 1 feet. Enter. I'll just give something like this. Sorry, 1 feet is too less. Let's say I'll give 3 feet of offset. Oh, enter 3 feet. Enter. Like this. So we have an offset. After that, Not 3 feet actually. There's another, let's see. So now it's 3 feet. So after that, okay, we have drawn something, and we know that this is like a basement of our building. I have to draw the walls. So if I draw a wall like this, will anything be visible? Like say, if I am looking from this point, imagine, will anything is extruding? If I have a sunshade in this area, that will be extruding, but we don't have a sunshade here. So I can just draw a wall that is like say protruding in this direction, just here. If I'm looking from here, nothing will be visible in this direction, same as in this direction. So what I can quickly draw is, I can draw a wall. So how much length should be the wall? That should be your slab length. Let's say we have a slab length of say 10 feet. Let me just take a line, enter, 10 feet wall. So we have something for 10 feet. Now, okay, 10 feet. Again, so so there is, I think there's a perspective error. These dimensions, let me just quickly give an example so that you can get an idea. I'll just try to open the drawing which I have done previously. By seeing that, let me try to explain. So here's a file, one of the file which we've done for a client. So what I'm trying to explain is, you can actually create the floor plans. So this is how a typical floor plan looks like, with all the doors and windows and your all the aspects that belong to the space. Like say, so this is a washroom. You have your wash basin and all. So this is what your door looks like. This is what your staircase and all looks like. By seeing this and taking this as a reference, what we are going to draw is, we are going to draw something like this. So what I'm trying to explain is, so let me try to place over here. Then I'll draw a line like this. Okay. So yeah, yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm not able to see the screen.
1 second. I think I have shared the screen. Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I think just try to observe it, sir, because I have started sharing my screen. Is it visible now, sir?
No, not
Hello.
yet.
I have started sharing my screen.
Okay, then I will rejoin the session.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Try to rejoin, sir. So I was trying like, okay, so this is our floor plan. We have like whatever the size of your building, we have our floor plan for individual floors. Okay, so in this building we have ground first. So in this building we have ground first, and after the first, what we have is just a roof plan, and then we have something called uh, uh, terrace plan. Terrace is something that is below the roof, and the roof plan is the topmost plan. We have to consolidate the whole thing, and we have to imagine like how does this building look like when we try to project it from this direction. Let's say we have given a name called elevation A here. So let's say if I'm looking from this direction, what are the things I'm going to look? I will definitely look this shape, and I will definitely look a window, and then this staircase. This is what I'm going to see. Here we have a, a window as well, this shape. Okay, so I have to remember that, and then I have to project a line straightly like this in both the directions. Then I have to give my elevation. Okay, here as I mentioned, you can see we have to give a basic gap. So you just try to forget all these dimensions because like the protrusions and the elevations, because that is specific for this project. But let us concentrate over here. We have given a gap that is called plinth, which is normal for any construction plan. After that, we have to take the dimension of from here to here. If I say I try to draw a line in this direction, I'm not aligned, but let's see. So I just try to move this as per that so you can understand betterly. So this whatever this window is there, it has to start from here. It has to end until here. You can see the window starting from here, ending from here. But the question is now we have to contact our contractor or the person who is selling the window to us, or you can even design our own window depending on our needs. So we know the dimension, the width. We have to decide about the breadth of this window or length of this window and the shape. These are the things we have to use our imagination to draw. We can easily estimate this what we call width, and also let's say we can give dimensions. There are like certain standard sizes are there. With those standard sizes we can give the dimension. The problem is how does the shape look like? That you have to use your imagination. So the next part is, let's say we have drawn those things. As I've said, you have to show in a form of merged way. There is like a chamfer type of wall over here. Until this point we can show, but what about this point is we have to show a type of curvature, but when you look from a dead straight view, the curvature also should be flattened. So this is what our perspective is. Like say if you are looking from dead end, dead straight, this is what it looks like from that particular view. So that also we have to make sure that we represent. The next point is we have to give our staircase. So we have given our staircase. Then comes the question, after the staircase, what is there? When we look from front, so this is blocked. This is also blocked. There is a window and nothing we can see inside. But here we have a door, and after the door we have windows. That also we have to provide. We have a door, after that door we have windows. So we have to use our imagination and try to give that door and window. Here you can see there are two columns. That columns should be represented until where the column should go, that should touch our first floor. So this will be our first floor. The heights, don't worry about the heights. The architecture, if it is an architecture plan, architect will decide what is the height of the floor. We can easily draw a line like this and mention our height. So we have given, let's say we have given our column and our door, and we know our height is. So that this is what information maximum that is possible to extract from our ground floor plan. So let's say building is like 3 or 4 floors. After the completion of our ground floor, we have to then move to our first floor. What is the information that we are going to get in the first floor? So this is first floor. In the first floor, you can see there is a balcony. Why? So this is our entrance, and we are getting a balcony, which indicates that there is an empty space. That space should be drawn. So after that, we have to imagine in that way. After that, okay, we are having one window and one window. This is the door. That door is a sliding. Don't worry about exact representation. With experience, you get this. If I see a kind of door like this, I will imagine this door is enough, say, pushing type of door. Then what all I can see? I can see two more windows in this direction. Let me represent those. So then we have to give two windows, a door pushing kind of door, and also two windows in this direction. Then comes before the windows, what is there? So where do we find those? We find that information over here. You can see there is a parapet wall, and that wall has certain railing kind of structure. Again, this should be provided by our person who manufactures the railing. Those railing thickness and all the information will be given by them. This information. So this information you cannot imagine just like that. It is going to be product in the production. So you have to contact the person who are designing these things. So they might give the shape. You have to fix those shapes over here. This height should be again decided by the architect or the person who is drafting. How much height this should be there? What is the aesthetic value of that, uh, say, balcony, and how much height we should provide there? That is not extractable here. There is no way we can mention that given height or the balcony parapet's height over here. That we have to again imagine. So that is one of the trickiest part. So okay, we have extracted as much as information possible in our first floor plan. Then we have to move to our second floor, or the what we call terrace. So terrace is almost all of the terrace part is empty except for this cone shaped structure, which will be our roof on top of our second floor. So what all we can see else is, so we have seen some more elevation lines here that we have to represent, and we have two roofs. That roof information we'll see in the roof level. With these both information, again I'll go to my elevation. Again I'll just try to draw. Here we have a parapet wall again. This information where we can get that we can get over here. There is a parapet wall in the balcony also that we have to represent here. This type of elevation alone, anywhere it will take between 8 to 10 hours to draft. So because it has a lot of information, even for experienced persons also, it will take like minimum 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. So because of this complexity, I'm just trying to say that it will take that much of time. So don't worry about like if you're starting. I know if you see drawing of this big size, you'll get tense. But don't worry. Once you practice, it will be like much easier to draft. So I just wanted to give a small exercise for today. Let's go to drawing over here. I'll give a small exercise that is over here. It's a typical floor plan. Okay, I'll just give it in the WhatsApp. try to draft this. So what you can do is, until now we have imported our AutoCAD. Like we have imported our PDF via going to insert. Let's go to import, PDF import. I will select this model and hit open. Until now, we have selected is an individual entity. So which means the lines or the elements, each and everything is an individual entity. So now I want, sorry, the whole thing as a single block. Okay, we can also do that by checking this as import as a block. Just try to check this option and hit OK. Now the whole PDF will be in the form of a single block in our drawing. It will take a bit of time because the drawing is big. Here you can see the process over here. So you can see we have our AutoCAD drawing. Now, the first thing, once you import this whole drawing as a block, we have to check is whether the dimension match to the dimension of this uh, particular block. Let me quickly go to this utilities and take a quick measurement or distance. I have to measure it. So it's not showing me the actual dimension. So first, let me just go to UN. Let me just change to architectural, then units to inches. And then we have discussed yesterday, you have to go to density. When you're changing units, just go to modify. The primary units should be set as architectural units. And then hit OK, set current, close. Now let me measure again, DI. It is of 8 feet, but the actual measurement is 50 feet. So there comes an important step. How do we change the shape of a given block or given PDF, which we have imported in the form of a block? I have to go to SC, that is scale, and then select the object. Press enter. Now we have to give our first point. Okay. After the first point, what you have to do is you have to select this reference option. Okay. Then you have to give your reference. So I want to scale this whole drawing on the base of this particular length. That particular length, when we measured, it is of something around 8 feet. I want to make this dimension to 50 feet. So what I do is I'll select the first point, I'll select the second point, and give the dimension as 50 feet. Now the dimension will be around 50 feet. Let's check it. DI, it's 50 feet. We have changed only this dimension. Let's see whether we have changed the dimension of this side also or not. It should be 30 feet. Let's see. It is 30 feet. Right? So that is how you change the dimension of any block. Let me repeat again because I think I was too fast. Okay. We have to check our units first. Our units are okay. Then I'll go for density. I have to modify the units as per our current units. It is in architecture. It is also fine. Close. For our convenience, let me just move it somewhere else. Enter. Somewhere like this. Okay. Now let me measure. DI. Enter. First point, second point. It is around 8.9, like say 9 feet. I want to make this 9 feet as 50 feet. So that is what scaling is like. Based on this dimension, I want to change the whole block. What I'm going to do is I'll select SC, scale, enter. Then I have to select the block which I have to change the dimension, press enter. After that, you have to press the base point from which you are going to scale. After selecting the base point, you have to always remember you can just type for reference. I'll select this point as my reference point and this point also my reference point. So you can just type the dimension of that particular 2 points. So here in this case, 50 feet is my dimension. As soon as I hit 50 feet, you can see the dimensions of the whole block is being changed. Let us check. I'll go for DI again. You can see it's around 50. 30. So we have achieved the scale. Okay. Now, what I want everyone to do is, so we have to take this block as a reference and draw our drawing upon this, like we used to draw in the stencil, right? We used to carbon paper. We used to place carbon paper between two papers, and once we draw something on the top paper, it will be in the bottom paper. So I want you guys to use this as a carbon copy and try to draw upon this plan only. Let's say I want to draw a wall. I want to complete a wall. So let me start from here for your practice. So you can, it's like a good method to practice like this. A single wall command will, a single line command, with a single line command, you can actually draw a whole wall like this. This point, let me end here. I just wanted to see until where I have drawn. What you can do is you can just select the block first. Yesterday we have discussed it. You can actually hide an object. Just go for hide object. Now you can see we have drawn our wall to this area. Just try to end object isolation. You'll see a block. Or you can do one more thing. Just copy here, paste it somewhere. You can just hide it for a while, and seeing this, you can repeat the whole block. So I hope I just want everyone, especially from the civil field, the architects, to see this block and try to repeat this the exercise. So with this, I just wanted to end today's session.